In today's video, I want to talk about intuitive eating and when it's appropriate.
Specialize on hypertrophy.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. I mean, you know, the powerlifting programs are nice in theory, but, you know, if you're going to get too deep into powerlifting and not actually be competitive on the national level, you know, you risk a lot of injury. Sustainability can be difficult, but if you blend the two, bodybuilding and powerlifting, I feel like that's the best approach. Also listening to your body, you know, you're young, so you're going to have a lot of success as long as you avoid missing long stints in the gym through injury. So I'm a little frustrated because you're not getting the results that you feel you should. The only reason that I ever find that is happening is if there is a history of low calorie dieting and then putting body fat on quickly after a long phase of dieting. And I notice you're a tumbling coach and stuff like that, and gymnasts typically have a history of low calorie dieting. So can you talk a little bit about your calorie intake over the last like 20 years and how it's kind of been? Expectation of yourself and understanding. And I mean, you've won overalls, you've been nationally qualified. Have you done national shows? Woo! What's going on, guys? This is Paul Revelia from ProPhysique.com, and I am interrupting my busy Monday work schedule to bring you a video. And I think this week I'm gonna do 5 videos in 5 days. So hold on tight, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content, if you're doing your cardio, if you're eating your meal and you'd like to get more of this. I love new subscribers, it really gets me motivated and to keep putting out the content. But this week's videos are brought to you by my clients. So I posted a message on my team page and I got a question from a client. And sometimes when you get a question, you know it's a good one. So right away, I thought that's the one I'm going to address today. So the question came from my client, Sabrina Wisbisky, who just competed on Saturday. She did very well, placing top 3 in all 3 of her bikini classes, which makes her question very appropriate. And that is, when should intuitive eating be included in the off season? When is it appropriate to not track your diet? And I'll be honest, from a personal perspective, I'll give you a couple different perspectives. The first one being my perspective is that tracking your diet meticulously every single day for months, plugging in every single thing you eat into a tracker becomes very tedious. And when contest prep is over for me, that is the first thing that I am the most sick of. And so I find it best for myself to let go of that aspect of contest prep. Now, part of that may be because during contest prep, you are just beat down with low energy and a lot to do, especially when you're doing a physique competition, but also if you have a lot of stuff going on in your regular life because you can't stop doing them. And plugging your food in every single day and making sure your numbers are exact, it wears on you. It's very fatiguing. And over time, the things that are the most fatiguing to us, we want to remove them. Such as cardio, such as tracking your diet, such as dealing with someone in your life who is very stressful. Whatever it may be, if something is fatiguing over time, you try to remove it, right? Well, so how do I handle this and still maintain a good physique post-contest? I'll answer how I do it, and I'll answer how you could possibly do it. Because at the end of the day, the most important aspect of this is the psychology of the individual. Some people don't mind tracking their food on a day-to-day basis, whether it be in contest prep or after contest. Some people enjoy that part of it, and I have clients like that are meticulous every single day. Not saying you should be. It's not right or wrong. This is not about what's right for you or what's right for someone else. It's about doing what's the most sustainable for yourself. Quick side note, do you guys like my shirt? Yeah. This is Lauren Conlon's shirts. She just had them made. So if you like them, Loco Fit, Redefine Healthy. Love the logo. Even though she's actually Lauren Conlon is LA, so it's Laco. Don't know how she got Loco out of Laco, but we're gonna go with it. Sorry, Lauren. Anyway, yeah, this is her new clothing that she's coming out with, and she got my wife and myself a couple shirts. She's got some cool ones with some slogans. They'll probably be popping into my videos in the near future. Anyway, sorry for that side chat. Back to the regularly scheduled program. So how do I maintain what I've been doing for months after a contest if I don't meticulously track? And here's one thing that you can be certain, is that if you've gone from never having tracked your diet or having eaten a bro type approach where you just have set meals each day to a macro program where you're tracking your macronutrients in a flexible style for months, the skills you learn being a flexible dieter go far beyond what's important for just a contest prep. No longer do I look at a plate of food and go, that looks like food. It's like the matrix inside of my head, right? It goes, that's 42 grams of protein, that's 36 grams of carbs and 14 grams of fat. Like, these numbers are just programmed in because you get so used to looking at food, weighing food, that intuitive eating means something completely different to someone who's been tracking macros for months, weeks, or years, or whatever time frame, than it would to somebody who has no idea what they're doing with their diet. So when someone talks about intuitive dieting and they're not familiar with macros, it means something completely different. And that's why I don't suggest, oh, I should intuitively eat when I'm hungry, when I'm not hungry. No, this is not going to be successful for the majority of people. However, you are not the majority of people. You have been tracking your macros for 6 months. I'm talking about you specifically, Sabrina, who actually has been working with me for almost 2 years as we've reverse dieted her, built her macros up, dieted her back down, got her into contest shape, and now she has actually competed in several competitions and may be doing more. And it's because we've got her in such a good place, she's able to maintain this physique. So for someone like Sabrina, what I'm going to suggest is that if the stress of plugging in your numbers every single day becomes too much, just do this approach. Let's say you eat 42 meals a week, right? That's 6 meals a day over 7 days a week. Let's make it easier. Let's make it 5 meals a day, right? So there's 35 meals a week. Of those 35 meals a week that you typically eat, most of those are going to be the same things you eat in contest prep. The reason being is because you're used to the consistency of preparing your food, cooking your food, eating in the same patterns. So for those meals, instead of just worrying about being exact, just be consistent with them. Keep those meals consistent. Then a couple times a week, so if you're having 35 consistent meals a week, maybe 2 or 3 of those meals you can untrack and eat something you wouldn't normally eat, go out to eat. I hate the term cheat meal, but what it implies is that you are just going off the plan and having something that you enjoy, as long as it doesn't turn into a binge. I like what Eric Helms told me about what he tells people post-contest. Order something when you go out to eat, and that's your meal. Don't order seconds, and don't eat off other people's plates. That will help to ensure that you're staying in a relatively good place with your eating pattern, right? So this is how you can succeed post-contest or after a long diet phase, intuitively eating, right? So you're still eating consistently the same foods that you did during contest prep. And for most of us, when you get in a good phase like this, it's pretty easy to eat those foods because you generally just crave more of them. So this is a healthy way to start building your calories up. Eat the same type of meals, the same type of foods, but increase the quantity over time. Now, depending on where you are in contest prep, when we come right out of prep, we might want to bump the weight up a couple pounds, get your body fat up just a bit so that you are in a healthy place. But again, this is very specific to each individual. I don't put anybody in the, you have to put on body fat. A lot of women like to keep that lean and they want to just see how they can continue to stay lean and how high they can get their calories. I'm all for that. Other people want to put on 5 or 10 pounds and then start tracking their reverse. Some people want to get to that 200 club, the 300 club, the 400, 500, 600 gram of carb club. If these are goals you have, then we're going to have to get back into the habit of tracking so we at least know where we're at. Again, this is a very individualized situation. I don't want anyone to feel like if they come out of a contest and they're not tracking macros that, oh, I'm not as good as somebody else that reverse dieted properly. And there's no right or wrong here. There's only goals, specific goals. If you have a goal that is 4 weeks after your last contest to be in a photo shoot, then maybe we have a reason to be a little bit more specific with our tracking. If you're not going to compete for another year, another 2 years, you might never compete again, you just want to maintain a healthy body composition and learn to love the gym again, then maybe we allow some freedom, some eating out, some getting back into some social behaviors where you can enjoy what you're doing again, because that's what's most important to you. For me, I don't compete every year. When I diet down and do a show, I compete 2-3 years down the road from there. So I don't mind untracking and not being so specific with my foods, because again, I'm eating those 35 meals a week. I get back on my routine on Monday and I make myself the same breakfast. I make myself the same lunch. I make myself the same dinner. And then maybe my wife says, hey, let's go out for ice cream. And I say, I can do that because I'm not in contest prep anymore. So this is where things can kind of change, but you can maintain a very good balance between your diet. Intuitive eating is only a tool if you are very familiar with tracking your diet and understand what's in foods, okay? Intuitively eating for someone that has no familiar with diet and just goes, oh, well, I'm craving McDonald's today, let's have it. That might not be a good idea. For someone who is very familiar with tracking macros and they crave McDonald's, they know how to fit it into their daily goals without going overboard, right? So again, this is not a commercial for McDonald's. I just use McDonald's as a term for anything that we don't prepare at home, which is technically fast food, right? So hope this is helpful, guys. We can also address in another video how to get our foods when they get really high, because I know a lot of people when they get late into the off season and their calories are higher, and I try to add some food and they're like, oh, I'm so stuffed I can't eat anymore. We can discuss how to get the diet in a situation where adding calories isn't as painful. And if you guys are interested in the topic, I just had another question about that. But as far as reverse dieting, tracking in the off season, the real reason I would have somebody track is every now and then, and this is again what I do and what I suggest my athletes do. If you don't want to track in the off season and be on macros every single day, I would at least every couple weeks audit your diet for maybe 2 to 3 days just to make sure you're not under eating. Because a lot of people, when they estimate or guesstimate what they're eating and then they track it, they realize they've actually been under eating, which is not something we want to do during the contest prep, during the building season when we're focused on performance, building muscle, and getting your metabolic rate back in a great place for another fat loss phase. All right, guys, this is Paul. I'm not going to take any more time today. I'm going to get this video edited out on the interwebs, and I'm going to get back to work. Hopefully this was helpful in addressing some questions for you guys. Again, I'm going to do a video every day this week. So please, comments below if you have a video topic that you would like to cover. Can't guarantee it will be covered, but who knows? Maybe I'll choose your comment to address. And thanks again. This is Paul from Pro Physique. Have an awesome week ahead, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, and if you're doing cardio, let's get serious. Stop grabbing the rails on that Stairmaster. That's bullcrap. All right, let go of those handrails. You're not here getting support from the Stairmaster. Stand up. Stand up. Better.